Work continues on the T-Hangar project at the Huntingburg Airport. More on that. Plus, Carrie Schneider has this week's report with our friends at the Du Bois County Humane Society, and Courtney Canese discusses Mentors for Youth tonight on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. Well, all is still on schedule with the T-Hangar project at the Huntingburg Airport. Last night, the Du Bois County Airport Board heard more about the project's progress. Steel for the building will be delivered on January 31st. Construction is then expected to last about 5 weeks. There will also be time allotted to finish the asphalt near the hangar, though no time frame was announced for that last night. Airport Manager Travis McQueen says he is pleased with how things have turned out.
The T-Hangar project's just been really superb for us, both from the owner point of view and also our support suppliers, Jasper Lumber, of course, local contractor that is erecting the facility for us, and WB Kester's been wonderful.
In other business, the board discussed several other ongoing projects, including the runway extension. Luke Reynolds with Wolpert Engineering told the board that the project would likely be delayed due to issues with state funding for a needed tunnel. The tunnel's projected cost is more than $1 million higher than the grant threshold that's set by the Indiana Department of Transportation. The project would lengthen runways by 500 feet in order to handle larger planes. In final notes, the board held its reorganization meeting last night. All officers will be the same as last year, with Brian Craig remaining as president, Mike Cummings as vice president, and Harvey Berger as treasurer. 2 area representatives continue to work on new ideas this legislative session. District 74 Representative Lloyd Arnold and new District 47 State Senator Aaron Houchin were on hand for Saturday morning's legislative breakfast at VUJC to discuss those ideas. Arnold has submitted a bill to reform the State Board of Education in the hopes of settling down controversy. Under his proposal, members of the State Board of Education would be required to have an educator's license before serving on the board. Arnold says that change would lead to better feedback from the board than what has been there in the past.
Well, it's one of those things where, we always hear with education is getting good input from our teachers and everything else. In the last few years, we've not received that. Currently, if you were like on the state medical board, you'd have everybody on that board would actually be licensed doctors. And then if you were on, say, the State Real Estate Commission, 9 of those members out of the 12, out of the 9 congressional districts, would actually be licensed realtors. Well, currently, out of our state board, only 4 of those members have to be a licensed educator. So for me, I've changed it up for a little bit. Hopefully, we get some movement on it.
Meanwhile, Houchin has already filed a few bills during her first week in office. These include a bill that would pave the way for more broadband service to come to southwestern Indiana. Houchin says it's all about learning as much as possible.
I've learned a lot, really trying to get my feet wet, hit the ground running, which is why I did choose to file some bills. Other freshman legislators did not file any bills. I wanted to file some because I knew they were important to my constituency, but also because it would be a good learning process for me as I'm beginning.
Now, District 63 State Representative Mike Braun and new District 48 Senator Mark Mesmer were on hand for Saturday morning's breakfast as well. The next legislative breakfast is coming up in mid-March. Finally this evening, a Richland man was arrested yesterday afternoon after police say he had synthetic drugs and then fought with officers. At about 3:15 Central Time, Indiana State Police Troopers Caitlin Green and Trey Litton were called to help Rockport Police with a reported suspicious driver who had stopped at the intersection of County Roads 200 West and 25 North just west of Rockport. Officers noted that the driver, 21-year-old Brandon Pruden, was slumped down over the steering wheel. He was also found to be very disoriented and with plant material on his clothes. Now, when police asked Pruden to get out of the vehicle, he refused and pulled away from the troopers. Troopers Green and Litton then forced Pruden out of his vehicle. At that point, Pruden began fighting with the officers, and a Spencer County Sheriff's deputy finally had to tase Pruden before he was taken into custody. Police found that Pruden had synthetic marijuana on him. He was booked into the Spencer County Jail without further incident. He faces Class A misdemeanors for possession of a synthetic drug and resisting law enforcement. All right, coming up after the break, Carrie is next with our friends at the Du Bois County Humane Society, plus your local forecast, sports with Kurt Gooksell, and Inform with Courtney Canese. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.